Okay. And we're going. Okay. Are you ready? I'm ready this week.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to episode 18. Oh shit, that's a bit loud. Hold on. Welcome back to episode 18.
Is this 18? Was last week not 18?
19. Welcome back. Wait, hold on. Welcome back to Folk in Scotland. Fill in blank. Episode.
It's past 10. It's more than 10. Less than 20.
Do you think so? Listen, I'm fading this week instead of just switching it off.
Fade. That's good funeral music. Is that Ragtown?
It's that sort of...
Yeah, remember you'd have the
Ragtown.
old keyboards, and you'd press the button at different,
Yeah,
Yeah,
demos, and it would
demos,
give you
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I'm eating these soya beans.
Oh, they're lovely.
The soy broad bean. They look like, in the biology books, you'd see the early stages of human life.
They do look embryonic.
They're like the little embryos. A bean is an embryo.
I
We all
suppose
start
it
off
is.
as a bean.
We're all a sort of being.
Like a pig fetus and a human fetus are very similar.
This is true.
I believe
see
human
in-
flesh, they used to call them long pigs, the cannibals, long pigs.
That's
Well, like salty pork.
Oh god,
I'm
that's
just
not good.
listen to this noise. It's
No,
me,
see, this
me
is
sucking on a bean.
that's the audience's favourite thing. Listening to people eating in their ears, they'll love it.
Oh.
This week,
Mm-hmm.
I thought about something.
Okay.
Habits.
Mm.
I have a few habits.
I don't have any habits.
I've got a
Clean
few.
living. Flat, straight edge.
I'm straight edge.
Mm-hmm.
You could describe me as
You
that. You
could.
actually could,
Mhm.
but I have a habit. Here's my first one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't move my toothbrush up and down or left and right when I'm brushing.
You move
I
it.
move my head.
Okay.
Can't
Jeez.
stop it.
Jesus Christ.
I pull my eyebrows out
Oh no,
and my nose hairs.
I've got a German trimming device.
Oh, this is this little device that you handed me
Yeah.
and said, "What's that?" And I'm looking at it, inspecting it, and I went, "What is that?" Nose
Mhm.
hair trimmer. Almost threw up.
It's because because the world's going to shit in a handcart, hell in a handcart.
Mhm.
I've decided to try and cut back on my battery use. So it's just my dildo, my double ender. Goes through a hell of a lot of batteries. No, so my nose trimmer, because you get to my age, this hair comes out everywhere. The hair on the top of your head disappears and it grows everywhere else. It migrates.
Yes, I have. I've got on either side of my hips a single hair on each side that goes out horizontally.
It's like brundlefly.
And it's wire.
Brundlefly.
It's so thick.
In my ears, I have to trim them each day.
Every day.
But it's a blonde hair, but it's quite
Oh,
coarse.
I've got hair on the edge of my ears now.
And
This
it's
is
the
a
way
new
the
one.
hair creeps up closer to your eyelid, your
Yeah.
lower eye. Mm. So anyway, I got rid of the battery powered one. You remember that guy that used to be on the TV years ago and he bought the company? Was it Remington? Remember
yeah,
the old
yeah.
kind of dude, yeah. So it's a German, you twist it.
All right.
So it doesn't need batteries, it's wonderful.
Oh no.
It's sharp, you have to watch yourself.
See,
I do my anal hair as well with it.
You're meant to have nose hair, but there's nothing worse than that one hair that just sticks straight down. It's
What
horrible.
is it for collecting bogies?
Yeah, it's like a filter.
Yeah.
So like
Is it? Okay.
airplanes don't go up there or something. I don't know what it's for, but
I once stuck, when I was a wee kid, I had one of those big rubber spiders,
mm-hmm.
and I'd bitten one of its legs off,
Right.
and I stuck it up my nose. Can you explore your parts? You're discovering yourself as a child.
No.
So I'd put it up, and I'd sniffed, and it disappeared. And it reappeared a week later.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it came down my throat. Have you ever flossed? You could put a piece of floss up your nose, down your throat.
Yeah.
Feel like you might.
The Buddhists do that through their whole body, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
Well,
they-
some Buddhists. in particular.
Charles Bronson, Britain's longest serving prisoner. He
You
does that.
swallow a bit of floss.
Bit of floss.
Well, it's a bit of cloth. You make
Cloth,
a
yeah.
cloth. And
Easy,
then it
right?
comes out your bum.
A right skewer out. They would speak about a skewering.
What's that?
Just when a skewering pad, when you're cleaning something, you get
A
a good
a
skewer.
scouring, sir. A scouring.
A skewer. A good skewer. Skewering tonight.
But the I wouldn't like to do it because you're going
I
to
like
pull
a
out
nice.
something wrong.
I suppose some of your spleen or something. Would come
Yeah,
out. An appendix.
yeah. It's like since getting a hernia,
Oh,
I can hear that little membrane of your stomach lining that keeps all that in, and that's what goes and creates the hernia.
Yeah.
That's quite a sound isolating device as well,
Mhm.
because now on my left
Like a
side.
bongo
drum. Constantly.
Oh,
You
God.
can hear it. Well, when you hear that, 20 minutes later, I need to go for a shit. It's a good early warning system.
It's an echo.
An early warning system.
Early
Very
warning
modern.
system.
Very modern.
Yeah, I've told you before, my belly button's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing.
Pretty gross.
I look like in an action man's groin.
Oh, I remember that. It was like a flap. It looked like a crab's flap. Have you ever
It
seen the
did look
underside
like
of a crab?
Yeah, crab's flat. A cock or a hen crab.
I don't know.
A male crab's called a cock, and a
Mhm.
female crab is called a hen.
Of course.
So it's quite important. If you like big claw meat, you
Mhm.
go for the cock.
Okay.
If you like more of the body meat, you go for the hen crab.
Oh dear.
But I'm led
Tough
to
to say I'd
believe
have to go for cock.
I'd go for cock every time. But I
Uh-huh.
believe the Chinese who buy a lot of Scottish crabs, they like the hens because they like the kind of brown meat.
Oh no.
They like that. I love that brown meat.
Oh.
I spread it right on a bit of toast.
Oh my god.
Have you ever bought a live crab and had to dispatch? Well, no, because you're.
Well, I used to.
Yeah.
We used to go and pick when you'd be out snorkeling. You'd
Yeah.
pick up if there was an
Some
eater.
Some bees or some big ones.
huge
Oh,
ones.
what?
You couldn't lift them
No.
because you had to dive down to get it, and you just couldn't lift them up. They were that big.
A big crab sandwich on a white roll. Oh,
Oh,
delicious.
It's
With a bit of
nice.
salt and pepper on
I've had when I was living in the States for a little while.
it.
I went to Hooters,
For the food.
and it is for the food
It
because
is.
it's nothing to do with the girls,
No.
and not even just in an ironic sense. It's
Uh-huh.
Hooters. It means breasts. There's nothing.
Breasts do make you think of food.
Every time.
Make you hungry.
So they had snow crab.
Oh, what's a snow crab?
It's you know, in that Alaskan trawler
Yeah, yeah,
program.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the crab they get.
Snow crab.
It's like sweeties.
Was it delicious?
Huge legs, massive legs.
Like a kind of like a
Kinda like
spider,
spider crab, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're about a foot long.
Oh.
Easy to break open. The meat comes. Oh, you could eat it, and it doesn't, because crab can be really heavy. This stuff you could just,
It's just
eat
light.
and eat and eat.
Have you had a soft shell crab? You just eat the whole thing.
Yes.
Delicious. My brother was on holiday. And
You buy it in a cake
yeah,
box.
He took me back. Like candied crab. They're like little crabs
Right.
dipped in toffee, like a toffee apple.
Oh no,
But I remember. Have you ever had? Have we talked about a moon cake?
no.
It's a Chinese thing. They eat at a certain time of year, and it looks like a one of those delicious Melton Mowbray pie.
Right. Okay.
So you
okay.
think savoury,
Yeah.
and it's got the little Chinese symbol on the top. And I think, this looks delicious. So being Scottish, I just bit into it.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet pie.
Uh-huh.
Sweet. But in the middle of it, there's a boiled egg.
Oh no.
And it was really came one of those cultural moments, like
Yeah.
different, very strange. But the Chinese, because they're sophisticated, how they eat it is they put it on a nice plate,
Mhm.
and they have a little knife and fork, and they cut delicate little slices of it and eat it with a cup of tea.
Right.
But
Okay.
here's me just hamming into it. I think
Yeah.
a Chinese person walked past as I was eating it, just shook their head.
Of course they would.
Peasant.
Yeah.
They were firing fireworks when we were in a cave scratching our arseholes. They have a lot to teach us.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
It is true. Yeah.
It's true. Built a
Oh,
big wall.
Our Chinese overlords, because they're going to be in charge again very soon. In our lifetime, China's the top dog again.
Yeah.
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 I'd love to go to China. Lovely food. Just incredible. Beautiful country.
Looks
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Looks
Yeah.
great.
There's a Blairgowrie's a hotspot for Chinese tourists. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, there's a
Why
hotel.
would they go there?
I have no idea. There's a village down in England that it's just this kind of nondescript English village.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular, nothing very historic. But Chinese bus groups go there in huge numbers.
Very strange.
It's
isn't
very
it?
strange. There
It's
must be
very
something.
strange.
I don't know, Midsummer Murdery about it. There's something.
There'll
that
be
just-
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
You know.
something that, yeah. But Blairgowrie, there's a hotel there which huge amounts of Chinese tourists live there. But they've had to put signs up in the rooms because the Chinese people were boiling noodles in the kettles.
Oh, wonderful. I love all the signs in the toilets in Edinburgh and stuff
Right.
like that, where you're not meant to stand on the toilet and
Yeah.
and did you see you get those obese toilets now? They're the giant
Is that to
square
stop you
ones.
from-
I'd fall straight in.
Stop you from growing round the toilet.
Oh
We've
my
discussed
God,
this. You
it's-
grow into the toilet.
It's
You
because I
absorb
heard
it.
they had one,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was Edinburgh bus station. And I went, I'm away to see it. It's
Is it like a paddling pool?
huge. I couldn't possibly sit on it. There's no way. I'd fall straight in. Double backflip, hit the water.
Yeah, we're getting bigger, aren't we?
But this
We're getting
is
bigger.
we'll ever get that size, you know.
You see a photograph of Dundee in like 1920, and everybody's just tiny people, bones like
That's
birds, all smoking,
You
all
know-
wee bonnets.
People listening to this, if you want to see, because there's this belief that all Americans are fat, and that only started in the 90s.
Did it?
It's that recent. Because if you watch something like Soul Train,
Okay.
and it's great. Watch Soul Train where they're doing the Soul Train and everyone's dancing up the middle and it's all flares. It's just beautiful. It's great music, everything. People are so thin.
Okay.
They are thin in a way you can't imagine. And this, I saw a map and it was all the fast food restaurants growing throughout America. Now, they were kind of everywhere, but the increase in them only came in the 90s, where they really just went...
They kind of mechanised it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's when the obesity came with it as well.
Well, I'm not fat shaming anybody, but
No,
when
not
I,
at all,
when I
not
was
at all.
at school, all the way through school, there was one fat kid.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And then they do this horrible thing on the TV now where they're making a point about obesity, so they'll cut to school and they'll show you a bunch of children, but they film them for the neck down. Imagine being at house and going, "Oh, that's me.
I know.
I recognise those big nipples." Those big swollen man teats. Shit. Yeah, no, it's just
true.
it's quite simple. You gain weight because you eat too many calories.
That's it. There's
And
nothing
if you
else
want to
it.
lose weight, you just stop eating so much
Yep.
food.
You can exercise as much as
Yeah,
you want.
yeah,
It doesn't
I
affect
don't
your
think-
weight.
no, it do-
Stop
yeah.
eating.
You can run about and jog yourself to
Yeah.
death. Like at this time of year, you always see the people whose New Year's resolution is to jog.
I know.
And they're fucking jogging by the side of a main road, sucking in the fumes. They'd be better sitting in the house and eating less food.
I totally
It's
agree.
true.
You see it
And
all
I'm
the time.
talking from a person who could do with shedding a few
A
pounds
couple.
myself.
But
You
do you
know?
want to know something? My favourite part
Mhm.
about New Year's resolutions jogging.
Yeah.
You'll also get it in October. The start as soon as the dark nights come in, and
Yeah.
people seem to go, "Let's go jogging."
Yeah.
Is the running shops and the sports shops must be rubbing their hands together because these people that are out running have the best equipment on.
Oh,
and it's all lights,
especially the
and
men.
it's all
the
everything.
men.
Yeah.
You know what men are like.
And they've got their iPhone strapped to their arm.
Oh, and their Fitbit.
Yeah. all
There's a
that.
woman in this building that's lost about 4 Fitbits. There keeps being a thing stuck in the lift. Has anyone seen my Fitbit Nano? Jesus Christ, it's running away from her. It's working too hard. Fitbit. Yeah. It's just ridiculous jogging. There's a guy in Dundee. I went to art school with him. I've still not forgiven you for slighting art school education, but we'll get to that. No, but he was having an emotional interlude, and he went outside.
Okay.
This is a guy that he's tweeted about this. As you do now, you tell all your emotional stuff
Okay.
because people love. It doesn't make Scottish people awkward in the slightest to discuss about their emotions. Anyway, so he's out in the street thinking about doing away with himself, and it's a storm, and he's heading down to throw himself in the Tay, and there's a big gust of wind, and it blows a big wooden sign off the side of a building and hits him in the head, knocks him unconscious, and when he wakes up, he's drenched in his own blood. And he's got something stuck all over his face, and he's gasping for breath. And he pulls off his face, and it's a sodden poster for yoga. So this guy's thought, that's a sign. He's went to yoga and he's turned his life around. Because yoga is quite cultish.
It's very it's all
It's
all voodoo.
They've got a
and-
guru.
Yeah.
They've got a guru and stuff. There used to be the yoga studio next to my studio, and all you could hear was humpback whale song and old lady farts.
That's all you get.
Because
Place
it's just,
stinks.
I,
In
can
this
you
building
imagine?
on the bottom floor, there
Hot
was
yoga.
hot yoga.
Oh.
It was just Legionnaire's disease.
the
and
smell that used to gusset.
Yeah, and they had to get as much incense and everything was going.
Downstairs smells like feces
Yeah,
anyway.
and it was mixed in with it. So there was this sweaty ball sack, vaginal,
Oh,
and then with,
jock itch.
with patchouli as well.
Patchouli.
It was every day you come in like,
Patchouli.
oh,
The lassie was like a Polish girl, wasn't she? She
yeah,
had just very large thighs and calf muscles.
that's her.
Yeah, she would have just crushed you. I had a horrible thing happened. I was at my work, and you'd see her obviously speaking to her in passing.
Yeah,
And I was at one of my jobs, and I had a uniform on, and she came in, and I said to her, "You get back to where you come from, but I was meaning.
Oh no.
I was meaning.
Oh
It's true.
no.
I was meaning your yoga studio beneath my studio.
Mhm.
She never recognised me. You know, you see people out with.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and then I had to kind of run after her and go, that's not. And she was like, it was all fine. But initially, she must have thought, fucking
Oh
hell.
my god.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the
Oh.
least Estonism person I've ever met, and
I
then
know.
you're just blatantly racist.
But the thing is, in this current world, that
Oh.
would have you ended.
Oh, that would finish you. A simple mistake. and,
They're,
you
they're,
know.
they're, they're in the process of cancelling Stephen King or something.
Oh,
It's just quite rabid. I'm well in favour of dismantling the careers of pieces of shit people.
Mhm.
But you simply kind of stop watching them.
Yeah.
Don't buy their product.
Just nothing.
But you can't tell other people not to.
Yeah, that's it. I don't like telling
It-
people what to think.
you
You,
can't-
make your own decision.
No, you do. You do. We're all adults. I would like to think 90% of human race is fairly good. Do you think? I think it's not 100%.
I would say it's closer to 100%.
Yeah.
It's like you said this before on a podcast that all the crimes in Dundee are committed by the same people.
It's the same poor
And this is
bastards.
it. This is what happens. It's like that. And the majority of people, you may not get on with them, you may disagree with them, you may fundamentally disagree with them,
Yeah.
but they're essentially good,
Yeah.
and there are bad people. I mean, you think about it, and to be all doom and gloom, but if there's a murder of someone like a child or something, you know the names of them from the past 40 years.
Yeah. It's very small.
It's rare. It's you know
The
it's-
problem. I think the problem with a lot of people just hunkering down and thinking it's all mad is my dad said this, and my dad often talks some truth. He said, like, when he was young, there'd been a murder in Aberdeen, and an old lady had accidentally killed this kid and popped her in the cupboard, and it was huge news.
Yeah.
But that was a rarity, very rare. But nowadays, my dad's on his smartphone all the time, and all the world's crimes just pour in.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so
it's less than ever.
yeah,
Violent
it's
crime is less than ever.
There's a theory, isn't it, that they've taken lead out of petrol, and they say lead was contributing to a lot of
Really?
violent,
Oh my god.
a lot of violent crime. But the big thing just now is the kind of head injury stuff
Yeah.
for erratic behaviour. I don't know if you've watched that thing about Hernandez, the American football
yeah,
player.
that's right. Yeah.
His behaviour was slightly peculiar.
Yeah.
He got £40 million as a pay deal for playing football,
Mm-hmm.
and he was out shooting people.
Yeah.
I think he'd killed like
He's
3
completely
people.
insane. Yeah.
Just utterly insane. Because I've banged my head a few times.
I'm worried that
And I
someone's going to
wonder-
snap any
You've
minute.
had some head
I've
injuries.
had some crackers. Yeah.
I've had some belters. I remember slipping in ice and on my way to school, batter. Again, it was really sore. I thought I was going to die, and I couldn't make it to school. And I got home, and my dad was in the house, and he'd said, "You go and have a wee sit down." And he was looking after us, but he'd allowed me to fall asleep.
Oh.
And when I woke up, I vomited everywhere,
Oh.
just all up the walls, all over the shag pile carpet. We didn't have a shag pile carpet.
No.
It was just bare floorboards on the dog, just everywhere.
Cracked skull, was it?
Yeah, no, I don't have just concussion, really bad
Concussions.
concussion. Yeah.
Well,
Did you ever headbang?
a headbang?
Headbanger when you'd go to heavy metal stuff. Did you ever headbang?
No, I can't do it. I can only turn my head side to side.
Right. Okay.
So I'd go to gigs or anything like that, and everyone's head's going, and mine
Aye.
would just go side to side like I was disagreeing with the band. I can't
Yeah,
go forward. I go out of time.
You do see a lot of people
Very
wearing
dizzy.
Iron Maiden t-shirts who seem to have something a wee bit off.
Every one of them is
There's a nightclub in Dundee that's for heavy metal people, and they are the most harmless, sweet-minded people you've ever met.
Of course.
Long hair and jacket. They look tough,
Yeah.
like tough out of a 1980s film,
Yeah.
but they're just
Tough
delightful.
warriors of the wasteland.
It's just they're like Mad
Yeah.
Max, mild Max, not Mad Max.
Mild Maxwell.
Mild Maxwell. There's a guy I work with. He's got this electric bike, and he goes about, and I wrote in the back on the mud flap, the road warrior, and then born to be mild. These electric bikes.
You do know, no matter how witty you think you are, it's still vandalism.
It's still. I've been told this. That's destruction of property. Destruction of property.
At least you're not admitting it here.
Well, I got caught out in my campaign the other day, so I was disappointed. My wee black pot of paint.
Oh, what happened?
Well, no, everybody found out about it, and they're all judging me because they think I'm being petty, painting over signs of people I don't like.
Wait, it was someone that shouted at you 10 years ago.
It wasn't 10 years ago. It was 6 years ago.
You can't let it go.
I've got enemies running for just decades. There's a guy in Dundee I keep seeing. I hit him with an umbrella just like 6 months ago. It all worked out. I'd went to the DC in Dundee.
Yeah.
And I was a huge scrum at the bar.
Okay.
And the DC is famously terrible service.
Right.
They hire people on maybe their looks and not their ability as a barmaid. You know the style?
Got you.
So it's just all every man for himself. So I got served, and as I tap on my shoulder, and this guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm, "Excuse me, what the fuck are you doing?" I says, "What?" He says, "I was ahead of you." I says, "Well, I'm sorry, mate, but it's not my fault. You're old enough. You get yourself served, and that's how it happens." I says, "I'm sure you get served soon enough." That's all there was to it.
Yeah.
2 days later, I'm in Tesco's, and I'm buying a bottle of wine, and I hear this, "Only poofs buy wine." And I turn round, and it's this guy again. I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Only poofs buy wine." I says, what's wrong with you? And there was a big bit of a skirmish in the Tesco's, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to hit this guy with a bottle of wine. So I said, I'll be the bigger man and I'll leave.
Yeah.
I see this guy once a week.
Right.
And he says something to me. He said he was going to stab me in the street one day.
Oh.
I was on the phone with my dad, and he says, "I'm going to stab you in the eyes." It was this guy. Then I'm coming out my work, pissing rain, and I'm putting up my brolly, and he body checks me, this guy.
No.
Body checks me. So I take the brolly and smack it off his head, right inside his head, like a baseball bat, wallop.
Holy
and he
shit.
starts going, "Police, police." I just don't know what to do. How do you get rid of him? What do you do?
I don't get in myself situations.
It's never
like you do.
serious enough to really call the police. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's general unpleasantness.
Yeah. It's that in-between area. It's like dealing with someone who's passive-aggressive.
Yeah.
Where they do something and you can't really respond because it always makes you look bad. But I've learned how to deal with passive-aggressive people.
Over niceness.
Over angry. Take it to 100.
Yeah.
If someone says, "Well, I don't think that," you go, "What you fucking mean by that, you fucking prick? I'll fucking kill you."
Yeah, yeah.
And they won't do it again.
No, that would work.
Right, you just go to 100.
Basically, you're living your life like the first day in a prison.
Absolutely.
Going up to the biggest guy and stabbing him with a pencil.
Still not convinced that's going to work.
I wouldn't like to put it to the test.
Mm-mm.
No. Scottish prisons? Castle Huntly would be nice.
I don't know.
Nice views.
I was in a job and they were taking on people from Huntly to train them up, and I had to go there in the morning in a minibus and pick them up.
Wonderful.
And a guy that was working with me, he actually he says everyone will tell you they're in for fraud because that's what you're told to tell people.
Yeah, fraud.
He says, but there was a kid climbing over my wall. He's climbing over my wall every day, so I waited till he put his hand on the wall and I hit it with a hammer, crushed his hand. And he got years for that.
Right.
And that was him just getting out. He's from Glasgow. And I went, all right. And he says, but we didn't like that prick there. And what is it? He's like, he rapes children.
Uh-huh.
And he'd done his time in jail, and this is him
This
working
is
his way out.
It's an open prison, yeah.
It's an open prison. So I'd drive there. And I didn't realise, because I thought they were all doing fraud until this guy.
Fraud.
So I went in to my boss. I went, I'm not picking them up. He went, how? No, they're only in there for fraud. I went, all right, okay. So I told him,
okay.
and he didn't know. So he phones the prison going, are they all like that? I went, oh yeah, what do you think they're in here for?
Fraud.
Do you know what I mean? He says, we just tell them to say that. He went, oh, we're not having this anymore.
Fraud. It must be difficult to try and get a job, even with
Must be.
something more severe than fraud.
Yeah.
I've had, I suppose, everyone has a lot of opportunities to commit crime in life.
Yeah.
I have a theory that anybody will steal if they thought they could get away with it.
Have you downloaded a song? Have you downloaded a film?
No, I don't listen to music.
Have you downloaded a film?
No, I don't watch films.
You've stolen.
yeah, you have. But you've stolen from creative people. That doesn't count.
But you're a prolific shoplifter as
that
well.
Doesn't count. Yeah, I've seen me stages in my life where I've had so little money. When I was a student, I have stolen food to eat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Saying I wasn't starving to death,
Yeah.
but maybe I wanted some salt to add flavour.
Some paprika.
And it couldn't just be table salt. It had to be some of that Malden sea salt.
Himalayan.
There was a guy caught in the university building, and he was one of the steps, Kenny Early Place.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a Victorian Georgian terrace, would you say?
Yeah,
Georgian.
yeah.
And at the front there's steps, and there's like what's been the like staff quarters underneath, and the steps have got like a little alcove underneath. And members of staff were coming in the morning. Here's a pair of feet sticking out, and there was a guy sleeping in there. So they'd said to him, "Are you okay?" And he was very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd had to go and get security, and the security had come. And what he was using as a pillow was a black bag full of his own feces.
Amazing.
So the guy was known, he'll be dead now, but you used to see him going about Dundee. But anyway, I saw him in the Copy just along from here one day.
You're right.
He was buying organic couscous.
Oh,
And I thought, that's
there
strange.
you go.
Is
You
that,
wouldn't expect that.
is that a dream? Making
That
it?
reminds me of
Fake
something.
it, fake it till you make it.
It could be.
It could be, yeah.
Like every artist in this building.
Oh, everyone, all
Listen,
crooks.
I was watching Bear Grylls,
Oh, no.
and he said, if you're cold, you take a shit. You have a roll of cellophane. You take a shit, wrap up in the cellophane. It's a wee hand warmer. And I thought, instead of packing fucking cellophane, take a pair of gloves.
What a fucking... Well, the thing is, I've done that. But not with my own shit. When I used to walk the dogs, you'd put the dog and shit into the green bag and put it in your pocket.
No,
when
you
you'd
don't
wa-
put it in your pocket. You carry it out at a distance.
No, in your pocket of your fleece. And then it's like a hand warm. I've actually done that.
That's disgusting.
I hate Bear Grylls. I watched a thing he did where he was in some backward area. He was out in the wilderness somewhere.
Yeah.
And he goes up this gorge
Mm-hmm.
to a waterfall, and there's a lovely little crystal pool, and there's a fucking frog in it,
Mm-hmm.
and he grabs the frog and eats it alive. And I thought, what the fuck has that frog ever done to you?
Yeah.
And he did another one where he squeezed an elephant shit and drank the juice out of it.
It's disgusting. Did
He's
you
a-
see the one? He's lost at sea.
Oh,
And he goes, you can't drink.
eating his own spunk, was
You
he?
can't you can't drink the fluid out of a seagull because it'll make you sick. So you have to use an enema. So he has this hot water bottle, a rubber tube, and he's sticking it up. He squeezes the bird into the hot water bottle and sticks it up his arse. Instead of packing rubber
What?
tubes, hot water bottles, the only thing that was on this little raft with him was a hot water bottle and a rubber tube. Pack a survival kit with some water, maybe a little stove.
Now the thing is, mate, he's coming up with these fucking ideas. He's not like some guy trying to get a break in television. They're like, Bear, we want you to eat some elephant shit. Well, I'll do it for the good of my career. He's in charge.
Yeah.
He's like, what'll I do the day?
He's run out of ideas.
He's on an island somewhere. He's very religious. He's got 12 children, and they're
Oh
all
my
called
God.
Bear.
Really?
All of them are called Bear Grylls.
That's insane.
There's something wrong about him.
There's something not right.
Ray Mears is another funny one, but I prefer Ray Mears.
Ray Mears is portly.
He's portly. He looks like a German tank commander. He likes khaki a little bit too much.
He likes all.
And he likes a
He'd
pair
get
of-
married in that.
He
wouldn't
likes shorts and a well tied up pair of boots.
Oh
But you never see him squeezing elephant shit
no,
into his mouth.
he does really practical things where
Yeah.
you go, that makes sense.
I like it when he's with Aboriginal people because he shows them a lot of respect. I think he's quite nice. I like to see, we've discussed this before, haven't we? People doing a simple, a job that looks easy, but it's not,
Yes.
because they do it so beautifully.
Yes.
And a lot of these Aboriginal skills are like that. They produce stuff. Like a Native American making a pair of moccasins. Isn't it wonderful?
I think, was it Houdini
Uh-huh.
who said any 10-year-old could do the tricks he does, but with 20 years practice.
Right, okay,
I think that's it.
that does make sense.
Yeah.
Do you know how Houdini died?
Masturbation.
No. Well, he was in iron lungs. He was submerged in water with
Mhm.
chains. I think he was choked off by large women. He died because he was on stage,
Mhm.
and Houdini's ability was. I'm not saying he was like Uri Geller, but he was
Yeah.
like Uri Geller.
Mhm.
But what he would do, he was incredible muscle control.
Yeah.
So when he was getting tied up, he'd flex himself and
Mhm.
big himself up, chained up, and then he would relax and the chains would fall off. That was his whole technique.
Right, okay.
So his stomach control was incredible. So you got a guy up on stage to punch him in the stomach to show how rock hard his abs were.
Yeah.
But he wasn't ready for the punch. The guy punched him and ruptured his kidneys, and he
Oh.
died of complications of that.
Holy
Yeah, it's
shit.
true. Yeah, Houdini. I think he liked to photograph himself naked when he was chained up.
Oh my god.
So they had to they had to paint on pants. That's what I'm saying.
That's incredible.
Photoshop.
My partner,
Oh God.
she's very
Uh-huh.
feisty.
Feisty.
One day she was messing
You
about
do need a firm hand.
and she went whack, punched me right in the kidney. Right? Hospital.
Uh-huh.
Loosened
Oh.
kidney stones. The pain was unbelievable.
Jesus Christ.
She went, I'm terribly sorry, and she just couldn't stop laughing.
That's what a gal.
She's
Do you remember? It suddenly reminded me of, remember the two Ronnies?
Yes.
Remember that skit, The Worm That Turned?
Yeah, fantastic.
Diana Dors.
Yeah.
Britain was taken over by a fascistic, leather-clad army of women.
Wonderful.
When I was a kid, I used to enjoy that.
Yeah.
They're all going about. Oh, it was so funny. And there was like an underground.
Yep.
All the men wore these little tabards and stuff. You wouldn't get away with that now.
Oh, I think we should bring it back.
Aye. Oh God, The Worm That Turned. I think Hollywood should come and make that into a film.
See, here's the thing, right? I'm going to say something a bit controversial.
Oh, here we go.
Because people say that's very sexist. It's a very singular view of what women are and what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the women I know would love that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They would.
they would just love it. So I think it would be a huge surprise if we made The Worm That Turned into a film. Massive hit.
A BBC Christmas
Christmas special.
just in time for the John Lewis advert. It just comes out.
And we've got leather clad.
Yeah, there's a lot of these things like the bodybuilders, female bodybuilders.
Yeah.
The proper hardcore female bodybuilders
Yeah.
have kind of gone out of vogue. It's become more of a fitness model thing.
Yeah.
So they've toned it down. Beginning girls who were so committed, they had, their jaws would get.
Yeah, they were.
I think they were on steroids.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
And these poor women are like, it was never big money anyway, the bodybuilding stuff. So they're kind of now, they meet in hotel rooms with guys and sit on them and crush them and stuff. And guys will pay big money for it.
I was aware of someone online.
Mm-hmm.
Not someone I knew, just someone that done photos and that. And they met their wife through a Ukrainian fit girl cruise. So they'd go on a cruise to take pictures of these girls
in
doing
the Ukraine.
handstands.
Is Ukraine not landlocked?
It was Ukrainian girls that were flown
the
to
Caspian Sea.
I think it was like Norway or something.
On the fjords.
Yeah, and it was all Ukrainian girls, and they were all like super fit gymnasts, proper. And they would go, and they would just pose naked.
Men are
very
strange.
You saw these pictures of all these men just like with really expensive cameras, sweating, taking pictures.
Admiring them.
But this guy that I was aware of actually married one of the girls.
Okay.
Divorced now, of course.
It's a Japanese stuff where it's like Lolita stuff.
Yes.
And you can buy vacuum sealed pairs of their underpants.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
You're like, for fuck's sake.
I can't walk through the underwear section of Primark in case I touch anything.
Do you?
I hate it.
Well, you can get a lot of static electricity off the cheap pants.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't.
Yeah, if you happen to fall out, as it's happened to me, I've fallen over. My face has landed in the seconds, the reduced underwear section. Geez. You're sprawling about.
Seconds.
Pairs of them end up in your pockets. It's just down your pants.
It's just an accident.
It's an accident. The police appear.
I can't do it. See if my partner, if there's a thong or something, it's lying on the ground, I'll step over it like a landmine. I can't go near it. On a girl, on the floor, nope.
It's like a discarded skin. Is that what you're saying? Like a snake. It's just. Yeah.
I don't. There's just something that gives me the heat. I just go. I don't like it.
Crotchless knickers.
Do you need anything there?
I'm not sure.
If it's
I once saw a thing in like
a gussetless cardigan.
The window of like what's the sex shop in Dundee? Ann Summers,
yeah.
And it was like a sexy outfit made out of refreshers.
Oh God! Oh my!
Can you imagine like you remember that strings of sweeties?
Yeah,
like that. Imagine.
What's sexy about that?
Like food and sex.
And what with the sweeties into the thong string?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't do it.
They'd fizz.
They'd fizz like
an
I'll take a quick shower.
I hate those. Have you ever had a bath bomb?
Yeah.
I hate those bloody
horrible
things. I feel like I'm dissolving.
Yeah, you're in grit.
I hate Lush. You walk past Lush and it's like a cultish thing. I'm sure it's human fat in those those
in Lush
of soap.
A few years ago they had girls outside it naked, just with the aprons on.
Oh, did they?
And this was just a sort of promo thing. And all the old ladies are going past going, well done lass, and all this sort of thing, And I couldn't even stop to have a look because the smell is so bad
of Lush.
Yeah. So I just not the girl. The girls were lovely, but it was disgusting.
It's full on. It's like a punch in the face. I was working at a museum and there was a I can't for the life of me remember the name of the artist, but it was a performance art piece where it was a greenhouse,
Right.
and in it was feathers,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a fan, and the artist herself was kind of covered in, I think it was like syrup or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was like tar and feathering thing, some statement about modern life. Anyway, she was going in, the thing was blowing, covering her in feathers, and then she was walking from the greenhouse and getting changed, and this was getting done once a day.
Okay.
This old bastard came in every single day to watch it, and then kept coming to me, that's fucking disgusting, they shouldn't get away with it. Every day for a fortnight he was there.
Amazing.
It's like the guy when I went to a life drawing classes when I first came to Dundee. There was an old guy who was Dundee College's longest serving student,
Okay.
and he was coming along, and the lassie would come out to do the modelling, nude modelling. He had his pencil on the easel on the piece of paper, and he'd just stand there. He'd never draw anything. And then one day a guy appeared, and he's like, oh fuck this, and he left. And they let him get away with it.
That's unbelievable.
Have you been to a life drawing class?
Yes, I have.
Has any of the male models ever had an erection?
No.
That's happened. There was a guy at Dundee College, and he got a very prominent erection, and the the staff member says, could you go and have some time to yourself? So he went away for 10 minutes and then came back flaccid.
Oh.
What the fuck?
That's just a standard thing.
That's
like,
a standard.
Son, go and have a wank. Come
Wait
back.
and have a wank, come back. There was a life model, he's called Eddie, he's at the art school, lovely guy, a kind of great shape, burly looking chap. He's been life modelling there for years, and first day in a general course at the art school, he's in front of our class getting ready, and he bends down, but he's got a big thing like a curtain ring through his perineum.
Oh, Jesus.
And he bends down, and one of the lasses for me faints clean out.
Faints?
Faints, hits the deck, wallop. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Never seen it before.
Ah,
People were freaking
I would
out.
probably faint.
Would you faint? Yeah.
now I
Maybe.
think about it.
He's a sweetheart of a guy. He's a nice guy.
It reminds me, and I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
but years ago, I really enjoyed David Blaine. I don't now.
Dead-eyed.
Dead-eyed, shark eyes,
His eyes are almost as bad as Melanie Sykes.
resting bitch face on
Oh,
a man.
awful. Yeah.
But I did enjoy him. I thought it was okay. But I just don't like him. And of course, when he was in ice, all the dry ice goes over it, and he gets swapped out for a look-alike. And this is the way that it's a dead old-fashioned simple stuff.
Yeah.
But he was going to do one where he was going to hang upside down for like God knows how many hours.
Uh-huh.
But every half hour, he had like a 15-minute break, and now they said it was for health and safety, sort of to check his heart and everything.
Oh.
To have a cup of coffee,
Just
and
letting
he'd
the blood...
talk- and he would talk to his friends and all this, and then he'd hang upside down again, and on the live stream, because the official live stream,
Uh-huh.
they wouldn't show this. They would cut to people at his training, and he was like, focusing with Buddhist monks, and doing all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I could have done it.
But it's just these kind of spectacles are as old as time.
Yeah.
It's
And they're simple. Some of them are beautiful, and
Yeah.
I like the simplicity.
Mm.
And I don't always want to know the answer. But
No.
one of my favourite things is when he came to London,
Oh, the
and he was in a box, and people just started to flying drones at it, hitting
with a
him with golf
hamburger.
balls.
The hamburger. You never kind of see that guy now.
No.
He was a kind of celebrity. Well, I've told you before, if I'm sitting in a pub and somebody tries to come across and do that close-up magic, I say to them, get to fuck witch. get behind me, Satan.
Yeah.
No. Card stuff. But you can see some of the card stuff. It's It's not me. I find it weird. There was a guy I was at school with that used to do magic.
Yeah.
Is there something... Schoolboy magic always seems a bit strange.
I think so.
Because you have to put a lot of time
It's
into
a lot
it.
of effort. There's a lot of...
And as a teenage boy, you're masturbating for 12, 13 hours a day.
a
And
minimum.
magic's going to be another 13 hours a day. That's more hours than in the day.
Well, the thing is, right, I think I told you before, I had
Uh-huh.
after my dad died, there was a woman going through the bins, and she was a
Oh,
medium,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to learn all about this. I really
Mhm.
got into it.
Mhm.
And I learned how to, through just old techniques on how to speak to the dead.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this girl once, and I was saying, look, I could do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a trick.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to show you how it's
Mhm.
a trick.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was able to communicate with someone, a name she didn't tell me. I
Mhm.
got the name within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to tell her things that only she knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and here's how it's done. And she went, yeah, but how did you know? I went, I've just told you how I've done it.
Yeah, it's a process.
You gave me all the information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she went, yeah, but Oh, that's just. I don't know what
What's
to
the
think.
technique
It's
called? Can you go? There's a John, there's a James, there's a Jimmy, there's a Jesus.
Guessing. That's what it is. There's cold reading.
Cold reading.
There's hot reading,
Aye.
which is the easiest one.
Right. Okay.
Okay, here's how. If anyone, anyone listening, here's how you do it.
Mhm.
Right, you sit in front of someone.
Mhm.
And you say, "Here's a piece of paper and a
Mhm.
pen.
Mhm.
And make sure I can't see it. And in the middle of it, focus
Mhm.
the person you're thinking of, their name.
Mhm.
In the middle, take all this paper and think of that as
Mhm.
your mind and focus in the middle. Now write their name. Now fold that paper in half. Fold it in half again. Fold it in half again. Don't let me see it."
Uh-huh.
And I go, "No, it's not coming through. We'll try it again." And I take the bit of paper, rip it up, and throw it away.
Uh-huh.
Now try it again. Same person. And as they start writing, I go, "Now George is here with you." And this girl burst into tears.
Right. Okay.
When you fold the paper in half,
Mhm.
you fold it in half and you fold it in half again.
Mhm.
There's one side that's all closed. You grab that bit of paper by that, rip the whole thing up, throw it away apart from that little chunk in the middle,
Yeah.
open it in your hand, read the name,
Mhm.
drop it away.
Uh-huh.
And if you think it's any more than that, it's
Mhm.
nothing.
No.
And I was able to do it. But even though when I showed her that's how it's done,
Uh-huh.
she was so affected that I said this name in that moment.
Mhm.
She told her mum, even though
Mhm.
I showed her the whole technique, she phoned her mum
Mhm.
and said, "Derek has this power.
Uh-huh.
He's got this capability to read my mind."
You could have launched in a cult. You'd have had the
This is
lassie
it.
and her mum.
Do you know that stupid cunt Psychic Sally?
Psychic Sally.
And she goes around,
she came to Dundee.
She's a
cunt. A cunt. Yes, a
She
cunt.
says, "I've got your dead child here." When you go,
Mhm. You fill in
you
a
fill in
question.
a questionnaire.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I think it's called a family tree or something.
That has no
a
purpose.
question.
That's not.
Disgusting.
People say, "Oh, but it's helping people
No, it's
grieve."
not.
No, it's not.
That's not how you
No,
help grief.
that's putting a stick in plaster. That's
It's-
not what you want.
I watched. There was a program about her, and she was in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
And you're listening to this woman,
She's writing mumsies
and her
and
daughter
shit.
had just died, like months. It's the most tragic story. This
Uh-huh.
13-year-old just died, just got ill and died. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, "Please." And then she's in the audience, and she says her name. But this woman had filled in the form.
That's
and
awful.
But the whole process of psychics is when the audience is there, you've already got them because they
Yeah.
believe.
They believe
They've
in it.
paid.
Yeah, it's like hypnotists.
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But that's really. There's nothing you can. But if somebody shows up to disprove it and
Yeah.
stood up in the middle of the audience, it's a good chance the audience will kick that person to death.
Yeah.
Such is their strength of wanting to believe in this. They won't. It's weird, isn't
Because
it?
delusion and intelligence
Yeah.
are two different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
So you can have incredibly smart people that will just take on a delusion and
Yeah.
they can't let it go.
Yeah, but it's the human way. You're very reluctant to give up a belief.
Yeah.
Very reluctant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same myself.
Mm-hmm.
You just, for whatever reason, I don't know. As you get older, are you less likely
I
to
think
change?
No, I'm not going to agree with that because I've really practiced.
Have you tried to be
No
a decent
matter-
human being? Because we
Well,
did, yeah.
No matter what I believe,
Mhm.
and I really believe, I hope that someone's willing to change it for me
Mhm.
or able
Mhm.
to change it because then I know I can move on.
Mhm.
It's like people say, "Oh, no one likes to be told they're wrong." Tell me instantly, please, so I can fix it.
yeah.
I've got used to that part of my ego.
Mhm.
If someone tells me a bit of an opinion that's just to be a shit, but I don't like that. But if they're saying, "Make sure you do this because then you won't,"
Mhm.
or "That's brilliant," I will listen to it
But
instantly.
that's the echo chamber of the world. That's a big problem with the modern world now.
Yes.
Just getting stuff
You
all
don't
the
want
time.
to.
Yeah.
When I'm online, I don't listen to anything or anyone that agrees with me.
Mhm.
I'll listen to really offensive, maybe right wing or maybe very left wing
Yeah,
opinions
Yeah. Mhm.
because I want to see why. I know what I think. I don't need anyone agreeing with me. I'm needing someone else to see other sides of the world.
It's the problem is the way the world gets by best is through a kind of a middle ground.
Yeah.
I like consensus.
Status quo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And
That is the way it works.
but it's not very exciting,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. The extremes of both sides. It looks like you're doing something.
Yeah.
A lot of young people get into quite extreme kind of politics stuff because they think we're going to break down the system.
No, you're
never
not.
get
You're
to
not gonna
change the
do it.
system. There's
You're not
not a
gonna do it.
chance in hell. There's not a chance in hell. You'll never do it. My mum and dad say that to me. It's very true. They says when you get to a certain stage, you have seen every political playbook.
Well, this is
possible.
why I said to you recently I'm kind of done with politics,
Yeah.
because I'm seeing things repeated,
well, yeah, we've
and I'm
made-
like,
yeah.
ugh.
Well, we've made a point of not being very political, but you do. It's the same.
Mhm.
They're going on about some glory days where there was truth.
No such thing.
There's
Never.
always been lies.
Never.
As soon as there's two people in the
Wasn't
cave,
it Alexander the Great? Well, now who was his teacher? Was it Aristotle?
was it? Yeah,
Was it
okay,
something like that?
okay.
I'm going to say Aristotle. I'm probably
It
wrong.
doesn't matter.
Right, but Alexander the Great.
Some guy with a beard and a toga.
That's him.
Yeah.
So Alexander the Great
Mhm.
gets word that
Mhm.
Aristotle's in the streets
Uh-huh.
teaching people knowledge, giving them what he knows.
Right.
Alexander gets a runner, says, "Get back there! You
Uh-huh.
fucking tell him. I'll
Uh-huh.
cut his fucking head off if
Right.
he tells anyone."
Uh-huh.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
You can't share it.
Mm-hmm.
That was how many years ago?
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
No.
Nothing will change.
I think the one thing I can say, the thing about Scotland, a tradition we might have lost a little bit, is this self-educated people.
Mhm.
There was access to free. There were pains to have like libraries and loads of stuff. So
They're all disappearing.
it's all gone.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, libraries are gone. Who cares? It's just
It's
full
very
of,
important.
it's just
to have
full of
them.
like
Yeah.
Patricia Cornwall books, but it's not. It's important to have libraries.
Yeah.
Everything, all the information you get is kind of fed to you in a fashion now. You
Mhm.
can't just get the raw information, can you? Would you say?
I-
Well, you
I-
can, but it's slightly more difficult.
It is. You think with the
Everybody
internet,
likes curated information.
That's the thing. You
Everything's
need
curated.
You need
Yeah.
raw information.
Yeah, it's
That's the
amazing how
problem.
both things. You can have you watch a murder trial on the TV, and one person goes, "This man is perfectly innocent because there's someone in his shoes." The other person says the complete opposite.
See,
It's extraordinary.
I don't know if it's about,
Uh-huh.
but in every library in Tayside, they have a book.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? I
Right.
don't know where it is. My book's about somewhere, but it's all of my designs in this
Uh-huh.
book that I was featured in.
Uh-huh.
So how about
Is
that?
it sexy designs
I think so.
for like cod pieces?
There's no cod pieces, but there's lots of.
When do you think cod pieces are making a
harnesses.
comeback?
Well, I'm wearing one now, and I think
Because cod pieces, you think they got extraordinarily huge cod
Yeah.
pieces. But I thought cod pieces were just for the wealthy.
I have a
Everybody
theory.
had a cod piece.
I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll make a comeback.
Right.
A lot of things in
You could keep
fashion,
an air freshener in there.
you'd have to.
Mhm.
It'd be compulsory. I think it will make a comeback because so much of fashion and behaviour is based on the military,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Whether it's men having short hair is
Yeah, yeah.
relatively in the last 100 years, it's a
Mhm.
recent thing.
Mm-hmm.
All this sort of stuff. In body armour, now a lot of it has that codpiece part. Stop your nuts.
You think the cod piece is coming back?
And body armour's making its way into fashion now.
Mhm. Okay.
That sort of shape, the vest,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
solid thing, you know.
Yeah.
The codpiece is going to come back. And the next thing you know,
I'm all on
boom. Are you?
it. The
Shiny one.
yeah,
Like cameos.
oh, but they kind of going about, and I've been guilty of this. You think, oh,
Right.
those bloody millennials, they don't like socks and half
You're
mast.
convinced of this.
I do have a theory they don't like socks, but there's a kind of argument that males now are preening idiots. And
Uh-huh.
they're feminised, and people
That's always been
criticise
that
them.
way.
But if you look at Elizabethan times,
It's always been that
they
way.
wore huge
yeah.
ruffs.
Yeah.
Men have always been peacocks.
Always.
Always been
It's
peacocks.
just the way of it. This is.
Exactly.
I think millennials get a lot of shit. I
They
don't
do.
think. I
They,
think
they,
it's,
they do get dog shit. But young people get blamed for everything, you've got to admit.
but the truth of it is, if you
Mhm.
watch some young people on YouTube acting like arses, you go, that annoys me.
No, that's not the whole lot.
That's not the lot. I don't get hassle from young people. I don't get any of that. Everyone's polite around here. and
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Young-
no
young
hassle.
folk are
It's
fine.
nonsense.
I watched a thing the other day about, it was called How to Steal Pigs and Influence People. And,
What do you watch?
and it was vegan campaigners, and what they were doing was they were going into pig farms and stealing piglets.
oh,
But then what they were doing was they're taking a piglet and putting it into a field and letting it run into the wild, so it was dying.
oh my.
Another guy was taking a piglet home, and then they visited him falling down. The piglet's obviously dead. 'cause he's
Yeah.
dead. But it's like a complicated. But everything's this kind of Instagram moment.
Yes,
that's a problem with the world.
That is a genuine problem.
Everything can be fixed by pouring a bucket of water over your
But
head.
this is another theory of mine.
Mhm.
Do you remember when videos came out? It was video nasties. It's going to ruin the world.
Yeah, video. You could have The Evil Dead on at 2:00 in the afternoon next to Loose Women, and young babies could watch it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
No.
It didn't do anything to anyone.
No, it doesn't.
And then video games really in the late 80s and 90s started coming through, and it's going to ruin all the kids. No, it didn't.
Never does.
Never done it.
There's less violence.
Exactly. But everyone said, look at all the internet and social media. Isn't it wonderful? And then years later we're going, actually, this is not good. This has brought nothing to society.
Do you think it's
been the opposite?
Do you think it's got rid of that? If you're watching a horror movie, if you are reading a Stephen King book, if you're maybe playing a computer game where you're shooting like zombie dash-hounds, it's not you. Is it maybe social media because you're opening up yourself or a version of yourself you'd like to? And there's a disparity between the person you present on the internet and the real you.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe... the person you're portraying is better than you, and the reality of you depresses you.
Have you seen my character on my show?
Yeah. No, but that's for shits and giggles. But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean,
Everybody.
yeah.
I know people on Facebook who portray their lives like it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're eating steak and chips every day. Their children aren't just wonderful. Their children are scientists of the future, space cadets, just the most incredible happy lives. The wallpaper in their house is handmade, everyone's wonderful. Their lives are shit.
Well, the thing is, it's
that's
like
dangerous.
I do a little vlog for my patrons, so if anyone's listening, you want to be a patron, that's great, you can get a vlog. And I don't pretend, I don't want to go on about doom and gloom things.
No.
But I don't pretend that I'm loaded or I'm travelling the world or anything. I'm doing fuck all, knocking my pan in for barely nothing. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
But I want it balanced as well. I want to be positive, but I don't want to,
people
suddenly
should be upbeat.
give myself a better figure in a bikini.
It's very easy to say, but you should be upbeat in life. You've got one go at it. Go at it.
Shit will come to your door soon enough.
Yeah.
So there's no point in being doom and gloom.
But kind of they seem to think, I've often thought, there's so much information about you on your Facebook account, for example, and they think that on your death they could almost make you all your feelings and thoughts. That's not you.
It's not you.
So it's not going to be you that live forever. Nope. It's a version of yourself. A
better version, to be honest. That'd be fair enough. Yeah.
Would you download yourself into a computer?
I'd have to know for the purpose.
It just they could download you into a computer and send you into space.
Yeah,
you could explore the galaxy while the real you is sat here.
I think that'd be fair enough.
With intestinal problems.
I'd have to have something to do.
Yeah.
Just load it up with an Xbox and be fine.
No, you wouldn't though. You just program yourself not to like. You could just whistle a tune for eternity. Play the theme tune to
34,000 years to the
nearest
star.
For a billion years.
That'd be great. I would do that.
Yeah.
But if it was for any other reason, like to become a singularity, as it called, when you're proper artificial self-aware intelligence, I don't care.
Surely,
I'm barely self-aware myself.
Surely if AI has taken over in the future, it would be back now killing us all.
Yeah.
If time travel existed, we'd have encountered it. Not one of those dingy pictures you see on the internet. Look, there's an old lady holding a phone.
Yeah.
Again, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And the D-Day landings. Don't be so fucking ridiculous. Eh?
No,
or gullible stuff.
There's no time travel.
There's no time travel. Somebody told me, well, not directly to me, I watched the thing on the television, where time travel, if it's invented, possibly could be, you'd only ever be able to time travel back to the point where it is invented.
That's right, yeah.
That's quite interesting.
But wouldn't it be annoying? Wouldn't it just be annoying?
Aye.
How much did this cost? And what could you do?
Yeah. They might have tried it. It's like the military always tries stuff. They can walk through walls. That far-seeing thing where they thought they could spot like Russian Soviet silos.
It was just bullshit. They're convinced.
Yuri Geller, give Yuri Geller a map and a pencil. We'll sort this out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they're wonderful charlatans, these people.
Incredible.
And they can hoodwink anybody.
Because people are deluded. But people, this is the most important part, want to be deluded.
Yes. The one thing, if you watched that, is it John Ronson thing, The Man Who Stares at Goats?
Yes, that's
But the guy that came up with a lot of these techniques, they were used.
yeah.
So the music they played at Waco and stuff, that's part of this
That's
project.
it, yeah.
You were destroying people with music. Yeah.
I think it was Men Without Hats.
Men Without Hats.
Safety dance.
Okay.
We can dance if we want to.
Right. Oh, did they
And
play that on a
I'd
loop?
have loved that.
Oh, I could have danced to
I'd
that
been dancing
for a
all
long
night,
time.
having a great time.
Waco.
And then the beautiful background sound of murdered rabbits. That would
That
yeah.
squeal.
Yeah,
Have you ever put a little slither of grass between your thumbs?
yeah,
It works
That's it,
every
yeah.
time. That startles a rabbit.
yeah. That'll stop them in their tracks.
We won't talk about rabbits again because I think I gave a bit much away last week.
Oh, with your
Rabbit.
one of our neighbours
Uh-huh.
here is not happy with you for
Which
touching rabbits.
Which neighbour? Oh, the
Yeah,
designy
yeah.
one.
Yes.
Oh, she's not happy. She mentioned it in the lift. I coughed and some rabbit fur came out. She looked at me askew.
Askew.
Askew. A lift. It's no nice to be judged in a lift.
Oh, especially
quite a
that
con-
one.
it's
It's
quite-
a
it's like
very
an-
sticky
It's
lift.
like an iron lung, and people keep putting posters up, so the walls are kind of like there's a kind of smell to it, isn't there?
It looks like the inside of a London phone box.
Doesn't it?
It's got that
I've
sexy appeal. I love those pictures.
They're
I used to
brilliant.
collect them.
Yeah, I've got some somewhere in the attic somewhere. Yeah, they were hilarious.
I used to collect them a lot, and I had them framed and everything. But my friend, she wanted
Would
them.
they still do? They still do it, do they? They still
I
exist.
haven't looked in many years.
The thing is, I suspect
Mhm.
if you showed up, it's not going to be the.
I have a feeling it wouldn't.
Have you
be.
got a feeling?
I've got a
a
feeling.
gut instinct.
I had a friend that lived in London,
Uh-huh.
and I would just get her. Have you seen any this week? Yeah, I've seen a couple of crack, and she got a real good eye for the funniest ones, and they
Right.
just. See if there was bad spelling on it. Oh, that was like getting Willy Wonka's golden ticket.
Where were they getting it printed?
I think there's a special place that
Because it was
just puts
all
out
in
loads
bright
of
paper.
bright stuff.
There was a thing on the
oh,
television.
mine were all gloss, full
Oh,
colour.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Wonderful stuff. There's a poster about Dundee just now, and it's a band called Flaccid. Flaccid. That's a wonderful poster.
I was in a band called Bump Your Gums.
Bump Your Gums. There was a band in Dundee called Perineum. There
Oh,
actually was a
no.
band called Perineum.
See, the thing is, you were at that age
Uh-huh.
where being in a band, you think the last thing you thought of was the band's name.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 nights before your first gig, you went, well, what we're going to call ourselves? And you would just make each other laugh. And that's the only name that would ever come up, just something stupid.
You know Simple Minds?
Yes.
I think their original name was Johnny and the Self-Abusers.
Really?
It was a guy who was at school, he had a band called Cupid Stunts, like Gary
Oh,
Everett
yeah.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to call myself Support.
I
So it'd
think
be
the
on every
shittest
poster in
band
town.
name ever's Oasis.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Well, I'll tell you something about a band. My friend yesterday
Mhm.
was up having a wee visit, and I always had this saying for the last 30 years, no matter how bad things are, it could be worse, you could be in Deacon Blue.
Oh,
and I'd
no.
said this several times to her. She was actually working here for a wee while, working for me.
Oh no, she's not been in Deacon Blue.
Her brother's in Deacon Blue now.
Fuck, who's her brother? Which
He's
one?
the guitarist.
Oh, is he? I'm not a Ricky Ross fan.
No one likes him. And I actually mentioned it, and I went, I know I've said it a few times. Because I'd say it to my partner, and she goes, well, don't say that in front of this person. And I went, why? Her brother's in Deacon Blue. 7.5 billion people on the planet, and I'm saying an insult as a joke.
Does he live in Dundee now, Ricky Ross?
I have no idea.
His wife, the other singer in the band, she's in River City. I don't know if anybody out there's watched River City. It's the
She's awful.
Scottish EastEnders.
Yeah.
It's a hilarious, it's beautifully camp programme. It's all full of like
The acting.
gay gangsters having affairs with gay police officers who are all
That's it.
dirty. Everyone's dirty.
But the acting in it is like it's
Shocking.
It's like the local amateur dramatic society.
It's a stinker.
It's quite incredible.
Did you ever watch Take the High Road?
Yes, I've seen that.
Take the High Road was filmed in a place called Luss.
Okay.
Luss was a bit of a holiday destination for us when I was a kid. When they triumphed Dolomite, you get driven out there. But Luss was strangely cultish.
Oh.
It was run
cult.
all the businesses were run by a guy called C. John Taylor.
All right. Okay.
And C. John Taylor looked like a slightly better groomed Rolf Harris.
Oh.
He wore this little bonnet, and he in his own lifetime he was a famous artist according to him.
Right,
If you get a chance, look him up. And his paintings are terrible, absolutely terrible. But what he would do was, this is chutzpah. He'd do a painting, and then he'd drive down to London and leave it outside 10 Downing Street. And then in his CV he'd say, in the collection of the Prime Minister of Great Britain. Or he'd go to Balmoral Castle and leave a picture of the Queen, and he'd say,
right
in
there.
the Royal Collection. Yeah, they'd obviously just put it in the bin. But I wish I could find it. But you'd get Scottish Tablet.
Right.
And it would come in a little cardboard box with the story of C. John Taylor. So the whole place, the whole enterprise was just this guy's hubris.
This is ego.
It's
That's
ego.
That's beyond ego. What's that? That's like a dictator.
It was like Summer Isle. Give me the Wicker Man. He must be dead. He's been dead a long time.
The Wicker Man. I've been to Lewis. That is a documentary.
The Wicker Man.
I was up there once,
Uh-huh.
and we went to the airport
Uh-huh.
because I got a shot in the Coast Guard helicopter. It was great.
Oh, wonderful.
Got dropped out on the cable and everything. It was brilliant.
Uh-huh.
But we met a pilot,
Uh-huh.
friend of the girl I was seeing at the time,
Aye.
and I hate to say it, he was wearing the white shirt with the little epaulets and a proper pilot, but he couldn't make eye contact with you because he was a bit on the spectrum. He flew
Okay.
a fucking jet.
A jet.
And that place, right,
Mhm.
they have one of the longest runways in the world because it was designed for during the Cold War. They could
Right.
land bombers there and
Right,
stuff.
okay.
I think they could actually land a shuttle there if they needed to.
Right, okay.
But there was still sheep about. So when they come into land, they would fly over the runway to scare all the sheep away, turn around and land
I could
again.
maybe use a wee dog. To chase
Just,
the sheep
you know,
off.
you think it would be...
Just a shepherd.
I'll say something.
Just a shepherd.
The
sitting
Isle
in a
of
wee
Lewis
hut.
is a shithole.
Is it?
I
Wait.
can't stand it.
There's. Have you been to North and South Uist?
No.
One half of the island is Catholic, another half is Protestant.
Oh,
It's
see,
just
this
very strange.
It's odd. Where I was all the free church.
Oh,
So it was like, once behind...
not
I
allowed
got,
musical instruments.
You're not allowed anything.
No.
I got behind a funeral, and it's like past the parcel with the coffin, and everyone goes in circles, and they all got to carry it. I got in, beep, 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 come on, hurry up. I was annoyed.
There was a guy.
He's dead.
I went to school with a guy who became a pilot, but there was an open studio day here once. This is a wee while ago, and there was a guy and his son came in. Not a nice, interesting English guy, and pretty interesting. But he said he was a pilot, and we were getting chatting about stuff. I don't know anything about the military at all,
Okay.
but I said, "What I'm surprised," I says, "it's there so many of the royal family seem to be pilots," and I says, "I'm surprised by that because I thought pilots would have to be quite smart,
Mhm.
a lot of skill." And he says, "You'll notice they're helicopter pilots." And I says, "Yeah." He says, "Flying helicopters a piece of piss." He says, "Noel Edmonds does it." So when you join the RAF,
Right.
if you're a bit shit, give him the helicopter, because he says, although it'll be technical, I couldn't fly a helicopter, but it's all very sluggish. It's quite slow.
Right.
Whereas jets are going like
They're
a jet.
trucking, yeah.
There's no time to be. Oh fuck! What am I doing? Okay.
So are you saying the royal family are a bit dim?
They're a bit dim. Yeah.
Agreed. On that note.
Put the music on.
Okay, on that note, I'm Derek Van Das.
Go on var.
Until next time.